and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the second segment of my sit-down with His Excellency the Ambassador of Cameroon here to Egypt. I'm Nancy Sarah Barakat and you're watching the weekly programme, The Ambassador.
andi ton fijirde nde ɗum fijirde hayrure e gaddani en Allah faɓɓin ardiɓe meɗen on nanina yawwa
Esa es una cosa. Welcome to Cameroon.
Cameroon is often referred to as Africa in miniature. A country which is not culturally strong is weak, because it is from your culture that you draw strength.
African countries come together as one, as you say, to solve their own problems, do you think that that will make for a much stronger continent?
Of course. You know, every time you come to present a problem to anybody, even if he's the most generous, first even if he would help you, he will say, but did he try? Did they try another way? Okay, I'm generous, I will give, but is it going to solve the problem? So the idea is not for Africa to come as the one to be against, no, to know our problems.
Right.
We are endowed with so many richness, so much that we ourselves are sometimes very surprised to see how people are running to come to our places. So everybody now is running back to Africa.
Right.
Why don't we, as Africans, devise a way of, solving those problems? And I think now people have started to think about it. And again, I will come back to the young generation.
Right.
Those young generations, they don't have this, frame of mind that is precluding, thinking that, sovereignty. Sovereignty is okay. But at the end of the day, if you are not able to feed your people, you are not sovereign at all.
Right.
So you see, for me, it's like, what are our problems? If you go into the details, you see that those problems are all similar. There is nothing new in this world. Those problems are similar. How do we go trying to solve them?
Right.
If everybody goes his own way, in my tribe they will say one hand can never tie a bunch of wood.
Right.
Can never. One hand cannot put a roof on a building. So you have to come together. If you come together, everybody has their own way of seeing it, but talk, discuss, the African palaver,
Right.
we call it.
Your Excellency, how do you see Egypt's shift back towards Africa? Because this is something that perhaps during the previous eras wasn't so prevalent in Egyptian diplomacy, but now the current regime is very much into returning to Mother Africa. So how do you see the shift in diplomacy?
Well, this is we feel it and we see it. One of the best example is this new institution that has been created,
Right.
which is the Egyptian Agency for Partnership into Development, which is being, managed and performed very well by my friend Ambassador Hazem Fahmy. Is doing a great job.
Right.
Now we see the real Egypt that we have been, dreaming about. I'm not talking like a diplomat, tell the truth. We see the real change shift in addressing our problems. Egypt trying to extend the hands to African countries to whom they belong, because I sometimes when I hear they say I'm going to Africa, I say no, you are not going to Africa. You are going to part of the Africa that belong to. You see?
Yes.
So the new shift is, we feel it, we appreciate it, and we hope that it will go on, deepening, because it is the interest of Egypt too.
Of course.
Yes, because Egypt had a very, very brilliant and high image in the minds of Africans. I remember, give you this example. The year when in the 70 something, that when Nasser died,
Right.
I was a child, and I was at the market. I went there, I don't know. So when I arrived at the market, when radio announced it, I saw people weeping with tears. You know, all people weeping. Child, I asked what is happening. They say, Gamal Abdel Nasser Day. I didn't know who was Gamal Abdel Nasser. And you see the whole, you know, market, people weeping for somebody whom is not their president. They were older people, very old people. So it means that at that time they knew, they were following what was happening, and what Gamal Abdel Nasser, Allah Yarhamhu, was doing was appreciated and taken as a pride for them, for Africa.
Right.
So history has it so that things went another way, but thank God now things are coming back. But what I would like to say is that we feel this, and we are, as diplomats, you know, residing here, willing to take, not to take advantage, to take this opportunity, to take advantage of the opportunity to strengthen, you know, this friendship and brotherhood that exists between African countries south of Sahara and African countries north of Sahara, including Egypt.
where do bilateral relations stand today between Egypt and Cameroon? What areas do you hope to see improvements in?
Okay, let me say that our bilateral relations have been always excellent.
Right.
We opened our embassy here right when we became independent, the 16th of December 1960. We were independent January 1960. So just for us to set up, institutions, and we opened an embassy here.
Right.
And since then we have been having, many ambassadors. I'm the 7th ambassador since the inception of this embassy, and we had also 2 chargés d'affaires, which is about 9 people who came. So this to say that on the political level, our cooperation is excellent.
Right.
We share the same views on most of the international, issues. We also share the view that, countries should not interfere into the affairs of other countries. We share the view that every people should be sovereign and independent inside their borders. We share the view that, we are aspiring all to development, aspiring all to peace and stability in the world.
Right.
So it makes it easy for us to go, together. We are in AU together. We are in the United Nations together. We are in OIC, which is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, together. We are almost all those, we are sharing the same view and we are cooperating.
Right.
And I would say that, our presidents, they consult each other very, very frequently, and we try to, put into practice the instruction that we receive, and we are happy that we are being helped in this great country.
Right. Your Excellency, what areas of cooperation, though, exist at present, and what areas do you think can still be utilized or tapped into?
Okay. Our cooperation classically is diverse.
Right.
But we focus more on training, building of capacity.
Right.
As you know, Egypt has an edge on that. And we try to take advantage of the generosity of the Egyptian government that help to train and to give opportunities of expertise to our people. This is a very important field. We have also the field of having experts from Egypt to help, in some of the projects that are either being devised in Cameroon or being implemented.
Right.
Yes. And the field of, for example, infrastructure, Arab contractors is very well implanted in Cameroon.
Right.
By the way, yesterday I got a call from somebody from our contractor because since we are preparing our National Day.
Yes.
Last year we asked them to to partner with us. They did, and I don't know, my people this year they forgot, and they called us and said, but what is happening? We want to be part of
Yes.
of the. So that's to show you that they are participating in development in Cameroon, and
Right.
they appreciate it.
Yes.
And we have Al-Suwaidi, electricity and cable. Now I have Orascom, who is trying, I will visit them after our National Day. So we have our ministers coming here. The last time we have our Minister of Electricity and Water who came here, and we know that Egypt, the expertise in these fields. So there is the scope of cooperation is very large,
Right.
but we fail to, I don't know, we didn't fail, but let's say we are yet to convince the Egyptian private sector.
Right.
You know, when I mean private, I mean business people to go to Cameroon and invest in Cameroon.
Right.
We have published many booklets, you know, in English, Arabic, you know, giving the priorities and the opportunities, and also giving the incentives that Cameroon gives. But I think the homework still needs to be done.
Right.
And my colleagues, we are trying to, you know, see the better way to go through. But now with the new approach that we feel, we are being, you know, I think they are being pushed by the government to really see into Africa. Cameroon, by the grace of God, is one of the best, you know, risks in Africa. We enjoy stability for many years, thank to God, thanks to the policy that our President Paul Biya is implementing. And so we have this stability. And we are located right at the heart of Africa.
Right.
And we have good relations with everybody around us.
Yes.
And we are privileged to have you know, this possibility of speaking French and English, which are two official languages.
Yes.
And so Cameroon is stand to be the hub in the any company who would like to expand easily in the region will be well advised to come to Cameroon, because we have what it takes in infrastructure, we have what it takes in human capacity, and we are open.
Right.
Yes, about 23 million people,
Right.
you know, and around us, you know, the economy of Cameroon is supposed to be half GDP of the whole African, Central African region. So there are things to do in Cameroon.
Well, what are the areas of investment that are open in Cameroon?
You know, we used to say that Cameroon is first an agricultural country.
Right.
But with that being said, we dwell on agriculture because of one thing. We know that if you can eat, you are self-sufficient in food, you can now think of other things.
Yes.
So our policy was to make sure that agriculture remains, you know, the cornerstone of our economy, because it is occupying, let's say, about 70% of our population. So in that field, many things can be done, because we don't want anymore to be exporting raw materials.
Right.
We want to transform those materials, you know, raw materials in Cameroon. You will see, we have coffee, we have tea. Everything that you think can be produced in Africa can be produced in Cameroon.
Right.
That's why they call Africa, Cameroon, Africa in miniature. So anything that any Egyptian partner would like to import from any part of Africa, he can import it from Cameroon.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So the fields are very, very diverse and large. We not only do we produce agricultural products, but we have also timber. Our forest is the second after that of Congo in that basin. So we produce timber, and we need wood here.
Yes.
You see? So we have now opened new venues in the extraction of diamond, manganese, iron ore, aluminium, anything that you can think of, you have it in Cameroon.
That's fantastic, right?
Yes, what happens is that people, and I understand sometimes, because they are used to certain markets. So to opening new markets sometimes takes more of, you know, efforts, and people are not inclined to go into those efforts. But I say that it is worthwhile trying. And what we do here is to present the opportunities, and I'm going to publish a new booklet which I call Smart Investing in Cameroon.
Right.
Not only investing, but smart investing.
Right.
Which means that you will give you clues where you can make money and where you can be, not only for you to make money, but also be of significant apport to the population.
Right.
Because now as you know, they are talking about responsible, management of corporations. If you want to go into fields where you know that you make money while also making the happiness of the population, will give you the clues to do that. And giving you those clues will show you what advantage that you can take from the state.
Right.
You see?
Perhaps, Your Excellency, just to clarify things a little bit, when people read nowadays about the Cameroon in the news, a lot of focus by the media is on the state of terrorism and Boko Haram and their activities in the country. What can you tell us about the reality of this situation?
Okay, this fight against terrorism is a war that has been imposed on us.
Right.
By, unfortunately, the split over of a situation sadly prevailing in a very friendly and sisterly country, which is Nigeria.
Right.
Cameroon and Nigeria, they say they share more than 1,500 kilometers of borders.
Right.
So, and as you know, the borders are artificially established by the colonial masters. So it means that populations from this side or that side of the border are the same population, sometimes the same families.
Right.
We have the case in Cameroon of one household has been divided by the border. So you have somebody who is the chief of the family. He has some houses over here, which are Cameroonians, and his wife from over there are Nigerians.
Right.
You see, so what is happening in Nigeria cannot be, a stranger to Cameroon.
Right.
So this is what happened. So when they commit their suicide attacks and everything, they try to come over, to take retreat to Cameroon. But as our policy has always been to not accept any square inch of our territory to be, taken by anybody.
Right.
So we had to react and send them back where they come from.
Right.
And of course they didn't accept that. So they considered our country like
an enemy.
So they tried now, not tried, they did, attack our country, they killed our villages, they killed, arson some villages, took some hostages, and but we reacted very, very firmly. And thank God our president said it, and it is true. Everybody recognizes that not 1 square inch of our country has been, taken by those people. So
how difficult has this battle been?
the battle has been very difficult because, as I told you, the populations are the same. What happened is that those people, they, falsely taking religion as their mean of, subverting people, would say that they are looking, try to establish a caliphate.
Right.
A caliphate, which is Middle Age thinking. You cannot at this time in our world saying that we are going to go back into the backward thinking of even the way they think is against the teachings, the real teachings of Islam. So we could not accept, and we do not accept. We have been fighting them to the last.
Right. It's very important that Your Excellency mentions, obviously, that this is very far away from Islam. How important is it that the true essence of Islam is once again taught to the youth, number one, and perhaps if cooperation between Cameroon and Al-Azhar, for example, can exist in order to have that moderate teaching be taught to the younger generation, or does Cameroon feel that it can do it by itself?
No, you know what happened is that all this takes its root in ignorance.
Right.
Why? The way they used to teach Quran and Islam to the people and to children is a very backward way. They will ask you to recite without you understanding, without you knowing what you are saying. And as you know, the argument of authority will prevail. You don't have any way of you yourself having your way of thinking and reflecting. And they will say this is it, and they preclude you to learn the real Arabic for you to understand the teachings. So they will say Boko Haram. Boko means what? Boko is in the Hausa language means school, which is the Western school. And but the concept of Boko is something which is which has vacuum. See, Boko is like you take a bottle, there is nothing inside.
Right.
Okay, so they call it the Western schools Boko, and it's haram. Haram is illegal. It's illegitimate. So you cannot go there. You should not go there.
Right.
So how can it be? When Islam says that you have to go even to China if you want to get knowledge. How can you say that getting educated is haram?
Right.
You see, so it is pure ignorance, and people they use this for their own, purposes, political purposes.
Right.
We can go into very, very long discussion to see how it happened.
Right.
You can understand. When you take your time you can understand how it happened. So.
But don't you think, Your Excellency, there's also a societal role to be played, because these groups attract the young, the youth, the unemployed, etc.?
Yes, I was coming to that. What they do is they build on poverty, ignorance, and the state of not worthiness that some families they feel.
Right.
They will come and tell you, for somebody who has never had in his life $10, you say, okay, what asking you to do is in the right path of Islam. It is jihad, it is this and this. If you do that, whatever happens to you, you are going to heaven, and directly to heaven. And besides of that, we'll pay you, give you this to feed your family, and this and this. This is the way they attract those young children who have not gone to school. If they knew how to read Arabic, they would read in the Quran. And you see that you say there is a verse which saying that he who kills one innocent is as if he has killed the whole humanity. You see, so those people Arabic to understand, because most of them, even themselves, they don't understand. You see, so they are being instrumentalized by people who have other views, who have political views, and we cannot accept this. Cannot accept it. But unfortunately, it so happened that the game ground and split over from sister Nigeria and go in Chad, Cameroon, and Niger, and all the like. But all this is a part of a global phenomenon. You see that, and you cannot address this one by one. You have to address it as a global phenomenon, which needs a global response. So, luckily, now people have come to understand that not only the state of the region, very strong cooperation now. You know, my president went to Nigeria 2 days ago. There was the second meeting to fight against Boko Haram.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that now. Bringing together, putting together our efforts is the best way of coping with the danger as a military strength. But this is not the end of the game. Even if you defeat those people, if this ground, the soft ground where this ill-thinking ideology is being grown, if you don't take measures to cater for the needs of the lay people, you will have the same things coming again. Means that you need international cooperation to address the development needs of the population. One population is educated. The population is open to the whole world. It's very difficult to have the ground that is conducive to such kind of ill-thinking ideology.
Your Excellency, obviously we've talked about so many things throughout our program, but perhaps it is also very fitting that we speak about the National Day, which you celebrate on May 20th. Tell us a little bit about the significance of this particular day in history and how you celebrate it both back home and here in the embassy.
Okay, thank you for this question. As you rightly put it, the National Day of Cameroon, 20th of May, is a very, very important event in the life of our country, because maybe it's better when if I give you the background,
Right.
how Cameroon became what it is now. Cameroon was before 1919, Cameroon was German, no, it's not colony, like they used to say possession.
Right.
German. After the First World War, when Germany was defeated, Cameroon and some of the German possessions in Africa were taken from Germany and by the then Society of Nations and given as trustee to France and Great Britain.
Right.
The Cameroon was in this case. You have Togo, you have also Namibia. So, as you know, Nigeria had a grip on Great Britain has a grip on Nigeria.
Right.
Was ruling Nigeria. France has a grip on the countries, you know, Congo, Brazzaville, and the like, Central African Republic at that time. So the country was divided, in fact,
Right.
into two. It so happened that after the Second World War again. The United Nations was created, and the trusteeship that the Society of Nations gave to both Great Britain and France was handed over again to the same powers to manage Cameroon, not as a colony per se, but as a trustee from the United Nations.
Right.
So, but as you know, the people, this is semantic in the legal framing of it.
Right.
But for France and Great Britain, they were ruling the countries like colonies.
Yes.
So it so happened that Cameroon people, of course, did not accept the state of mind, and they fought for the independence. Eventually, in 1960, independence was granted, or let's say Cameroon fought and got its independence from France.
Right.
So the part of Cameroon which was being governed and administered by France became independent. But the English part, which were being governed by Great Britain, remained with Nigeria, because Nigeria was not independent.
Right.
But Nigeria became independent in October 1961. So the question was what to do with this part of Cameroon, which is not part of Nigeria, but was being governed and administered by Great Britain as part of Nigeria.
Right.
So we had to put the question to the United Nations, and it was decided to make a referendum. You know, to ask people if they would prefer to remain with Nigeria or to rejoin Cameroon. The referendum was performed. It so happened that the majority of people in the south decided to come back to Cameroon.
Right.
Whereas they said that the majority of people in the north will choose to be in Nigeria.
Right.
We know that it was rigged. But as a peace-loving country, we decided to abide by the result of the referendum, which means that after the Nigeria became independent,
right.
So in 1961, part of Cameroon, which was being governed by Nigeria, came back to us, the southern part, and we became a federal state.
Right.
So it was called the Federal Republic of Cameroon. We have the north, the eastern Cameroons, which is French-speaking Cameroon, the largest part of it, and western Cameroon, which are English-speaking.
Right.
So our constitution stated that both parts are equal federal states.
Right.
So the constitution said English and French would become our two official languages.
Right.
And remember, I told you that our country was, bestowed by grace of God to have so many tribes,
yes.
more than 280. But you choose not to bring any discrepancies or difficulties by choosing one of the national languages to become the official languages, but we choose, okay, let us take advantage of what the colonial give us, which is also opening us to the world, taking English and French as the two official languages. Thus, the first status of our country was then Federal Republic of Cameroon.
Right.
So in the federal setup, you have the federal state and you have the states, and each of the state is supposed to be an entity in itself.
Right.
So it has its government and its laws and this, and you have all the other part the same thing, and then you have a third step of government, which is the federal government.
Right.
for a country which is just getting, its independence, it was very cumbersome, very costly, and also eventually in the future maybe we'll have, idea of splitting. So the wisdom of our leaders, brought them to do the same thing, same referendum, because we are legally abiding people.
Right.
Let us make a referendum and see, do you want to remain, federal state, or to unite yourself as you used to be? And in May 72, the referendum was made and the people unanimously decided to reunite. So this is what we are celebrating,
Right.
the unity of Cameroon. Now there is no United Republic of Cameroon, it is the Republic of Cameroon.
Right.
No federal state, it is a Republic of Cameroon. This is what we are celebrating. And for us, the mysticism of unity is what is the real framework of everything in Cameroon.
Right.
Try to be united. This is why we celebrate it, and we make it as a way to show that our diversity is richness. It's not an issue of division.
Right.
It is, we accept it as a given richness from God.
Right. And how big is the celebration back home?
The celebration is all over,
Right.
from the teeniest village up to the capital.
Right.
This day, everybody is celebrating. And we also here, we do the same way. Try to, make the diaspora of Cameroon here not to feel like left away.
Right.
They are participating, and we have a whole program. We don't just celebrate the day. We have a week of celebration. We do, cultural activities which reflect the richness of our cultural heritage.
Yes.
And you see the dances from Cameroon. You see the dishes from all part of Cameroon. You see the traditional outfits, everything. And then the students also, they are participating. We make them, make quizzes, intellectual quizzes, presentation of Cameroon and this. And mostly, Cameroon, there is no Cameroon if there is no football.
Right.
So this year, for example, we have, 2 matches, which will be ladies first. They will have the football matches. And you remember last February, last April,
Right.
we came here, our lady team came, and they luckily, they succeeded in beating the Egyptian lady.
Right.
So we will see, the ladies also performing, and then we have the gentlemen soccer,
Right.
where we see people, because we have many Cameroonians who have been, renowned footballers who perform here in Egypt. You have Bel Antoine René, everybody, Bel Antoine Joseph, and you have Makaraki also. So
I'm not a football fan.
okay. So they came here and performed. So and we have them here. Some of them came. They are playing in clubs here, and they will be performing. And as I told you, the Arab contractors, they also want to keep up with us and participate.
Dunia babin sakewa. Andi ton fijirde nde ɗum fijirde hayrure ɓe gaddani en. Allah faɓɓin ardiɓe meɗen. On nanina? Yawwa.
makosa.
Welcome to Cameroon.
Cameroon is often referred to as Africa in miniature. A country which is not culturally strong is weak because it is from your culture that you draw strength.
So we wish you all a very happy National Day and many more to come. Your Excellency, it was a pleasure having you with us. It was a pleasure sitting down with you today. Dr. Mohamedou Labarang, thank you very much for having us.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you very much for saying.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on this episode of The Ambassador. Do join us again next week, same time, same place here on Nile TV International. I'm Nancy Sarah Barakat, wishing you all a very good evening.